everyone, welcome to my channel. This is not my first video on YouTube actually, because I did try to post some videos before and I gave up basically, so I want to try it again. So we're gonna do a camera collection video today. These are all of the cameras that I have and I'm gonna basically talk about them one by one. I have 5 cameras with me right now, which is a lot, and I'm going to explain why do I have so many. Basically, if you guys follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you know that I don't do scripted, very professional videos. I just talk about the cameras that I own very quickly, because on Instagram you can only post 3 minutes videos. If you try to post longer than that, it doesn't get shown to like new audiences. So that's why I try to keep all of my videos very short, and most of the time I am cutting so many stuff from the videos because I talk a lot. And as I also said, I don't do like scripted videos. I just talk whatever I want to say in that moment. So I thought it would be better if I can do videos on YouTube and I can just talk even if nobody watches it. So yeah, also another side note, I am not a photographer or a videographer. I don't know a lot of stuff about the cameras or anything like that. I just love taking photos for my Instagram most of the time because I am a content creator. That's what I want to call myself at the moment. So don't expect too much. And if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you know that I'm not like that. I am kind of scared that my videos on YouTube show up on very different audiences. So I just wanted to do this disclaimer basically. Let's start with my favorite camera, I guess. It's the Fujifilm X100VI. This was not my first camera. Let me try to do a little backstory, because why not? We're on YouTube, I can talk a lot. As I said before, I do social media for a while now. I wasn't very successful at it for such a long time too, but I just love posting basically. With all the digicam trends and stuff, I decided to get one as well. And I got the Canon G9X Mark II. That was my first ever digicam or camera. I love that camera so much, and I regret so much that I sold it, because basically I sold that camera to buy the G7X when I found it on stock, because as you guys know, the G7X is the it camera basically on social media. Everyone wants to get that one, and when I found one in stock, I was like, let me just get this one and I will sell the G9X. And that's what I did basically. I decided to get the G7X because the photo quality between G9X and the G7X are the same. I just wanted to get the G7X because it does have a flip-up screen and it does have better video features, or that's what I thought, because as I said, photo features are the same. They both have 20 megapixel resolution with 1-inch sensor, so the photos are basically the same. And in my opinion, G9X is much better of a camera for the price because it is much more cheaper than G7X and it gives the same results basically. So that's why I just sold my G9X and get the G7X, because as I said, I wanted to start YouTube as well, and I thought that camera would be great because everyone was using that for vlogs and stuff. And I was also doing like videos or like outfit videos and stuff on TikTok or Instagram, and I thought having a camera would be better to film those. And I got the G7X and it was so unusable for videos because autofocus is so unusable. Then I got the Fujifilm X100VI. Oh my god, I talk so much guys, whatever. I'm basically telling you a story here. That's why I needed YouTube. Then I got the Fujifilm X100VI because this camera was a dream basically. I wanted to buy this camera for such a long time, but it was so expensive and I just didn't know that I will like use it that much. When I buy cameras, even with the G9X, I was always thinking like, oh, can I make money using this camera? Is this gonna like elevate my content so that I can do more brand deals and stuff? I wasn't very focused on that when I got the G9X, but I was very focused on buying this camera with that aspect. After doing so many research, I was like, let me just get this camera and see if I'm gonna like it or if I'm gonna use it. And I got this camera. Before I got this one, actually, Fujifilm released Fujifilm X100. I actually pre-ordered that camera before this. I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect camera. It looks like G7X. It has a 1-inch sensor and stuff. But when I saw the reviews and stuff, I was like, no, I don't need this. So then I canceled the pre-order and got this one. And I'm so glad I got this one because I don't think like most people use this camera for videos, but I do use this camera for videos for my short form content all the time. And I shot so many brand deals with this camera as well because I do think it looks so professional. And I know it's not a video camera, but it does have very good video features as well. You can shoot 6K videos on it. So I do think it's a great video camera as well. Because of that, I do think this camera was worth it to me. I did basically earn the money that I spent on this camera by doing so many brand deals and stuff. Not so many. I am talking like I have so many followers. I always get brand deals and stuff. I don't. But I did some brand deals with this camera, which was so nice. Also, having this camera is very beneficial for your social media accounts if you do content about this camera. So I think it was worth it for me. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it for everyone else. I wouldn't buy this camera if I wasn't doing social media. Like I have to be so rich to buy this camera camera if I wasn't doing social media, because it's such an expensive camera. And when I got it, it was around $1,600. I think it's more now, retail price. I got it for retail. I didn't talk about like photos that much, but photos are incredible, of course. After I got this camera, I started doing so many aesthetic flat lay content on my Instagram, and they went so viral. I don't know if they would have done the same thing if I was shooting those with my iPhone, but I do think this camera played a very good part in that as well, because my photos always look so high quality. I just love this camera so much. I also didn't mention, but you don't have to color grade your videos on this camera, because you can use your film recipes on the videos as well, which I think it's pretty cool, because I don't know how to color grade my videos, so it was so easy for me to use it on all of my videos, and it looks much more professional, much more cinematic, straight out of camera. What else I can say? If you like want to get this camera for like Instagram aesthetics and stuff, like if you're not a photographer, it makes your job so easy to have aesthetic Instagram feed, because you can just use one recipe for all of your photos, and it's gonna be like very aesthetic, straight out of camera. And if you also use it for videos as well, you can have your videos same aesthetic as well. I just love the camera so much. I do think it's worth the hype. I wish it was a little bit more smaller, but I do love it. By the way, I'm filming this video with Insta360 Ultra Luna right now, and they did send this camera to me, exchange of videos for TikTok though, so this is not sponsored or anything like that. But ever since I got this camera, I am using this for my videos, because even though I love the Fujifilm X100VI for my videos, it looks so cinematic, so cool, so professional. It is not that easy to use because it doesn't have a flip-up screen. I think if it has flip-up screen, I would use it much more. I think it makes it a little bit more harder to use. I do have a mirror thing for my hot shoe though, and I do put that one to use it, or I just angle it from my mirror to see myself. And it also doesn't have product showcase mode. If I want to show some products on it, and I do that a lot on my videos, I have to cover my whole face for it to focus on the product, which is not ideal, but I did manage to use it. I think there's like much more easy cameras to use from like Fujifilm, like X100V and stuff, but I just don't like using interchangeable lens cameras. And I know it's gonna sound so ridiculous for all of the people here, but I just don't like it. I want my cameras to be as compact and as easy as possible, and I just don't want to think about the lens as well, because I don't know that much about cameras. Let's move on. I talked so much about this camera. We can talk about Fujifilm X-F10. This is the camera that I bought after Fujifilm X100VI, because I become so obsessed with Fujifilm X100VI after getting it. Photos are so aesthetic, and it fits my Instagram feed so much. And at that time, I had my Canon G7X, and the G7X quality started to feel so bad for me. I wasn't satisfied with any of the pictures that I was getting from G7X at that time, so I started looking for a much more compact camera that I can bring with me all the time, because as much as I love the X100VI, it is a bulky camera. Let me actually do a side-by-side comparison. It is a bulky camera, so as I said, I started looking for much more of a compact camera that gives me similar quality pictures. The first thing that I found was the Ricoh GR series, and I was very tempted to buy one of those, but they were much more expensive, and I didn't have the budget at the time, and I just didn't want to spend that much money. So then I found Fujifilm X70 and Fujifilm X-F10, and this camera was so unpopular, so it was much more affordable than X70 or like the Ricoh GR series. So I decided to go with this one, because I know that it has the classic chrome and stuff, and it doesn't have the same exact detailed settings for film recipes like my X100VI, but it does have a similar chrome. So I thought that maybe I can just adjust it to my liking and get a similar result to my recipe that I use on my X100VI. And that's what I did. I do have a pretty cool recipe on it right now, and I do like it so much. It does a very good job. There is a couple of things that I don't like about this camera. I also love that it has a flash, which is a very good bonus in my opinion. I love using flash for photos when I take pictures of myself, which I do a lot because I always like post my outfits and stuff. There's only a couple of things that I don't like about this camera. One is that it doesn't have IBIS in it, which I didn't know that it was gonna be a deal breaker for me before buying this, because this is actually the first camera that I purchased that doesn't have an IBIS in it. So when I take photos, some of the photos came out blurry because of that, because you have to make your shutter speed very fast for it to be very sharp. And I guess I have shaky hands because some of the photos that I said came out very blurry. You have to be very still to take photos, and that's like a common issue with cameras that doesn't have IBIS. So yeah, I didn't love that. But when my mom takes my pictures for my outfits and stuff, she doesn't have that problem. All of the pictures that she took is very sharp. So I guess it's a me problem. I don't know, but I just don't like that it doesn't have an IBIS. And I also don't like that you can't save more than one recipe on this camera. If you change the recipe, like you have to put your first recipe again if you want to use it. You can save recipes basically. You have to change the settings all the time, which I don't like. But it wasn't that big of an issue for me because I also only use one recipe on my Fujifilm X100VI. So I just found a recipe that I liked. I think I made this recipe. I'm not sure. Like, I don't remember. I think I found a recipe that I kind of like and I tweaked my white balance or like some of the settings myself. I'm not sure. I do like the recipe that I use right now. I think it's such a good one, not to brag, and I will try to put it on the videos as well, or you can just go to my Instagram and save the recipe on there. I have the Sony X100VII now because I got this one to replace my Canon G7X, and I would still prefer this camera for my G7X or my Sony X100VII. I know it doesn't have zoom or anything like that, but I just love a camera with an APS-C size sensor and also recipes in it. So yeah, I love this camera so much. It was a great purchase for me, but I'm gonna sell it soon. I put it on Facebook Marketplace and I'm just waiting for offers to come, because after having so many troubles with not having IBIS, I decided to purchase the Ricoh GR4, so I'm gonna sell this one. Let's continue chronologically. I think that's how we say it. By the way, you guys, you probably can tell, but English is not my first language, so I do have some trouble pronouncing some of the words, so bear with me please. Let's move on to Sony X100VII. I got this camera, as I said, after I sold my G7X, because I sold my G7X above retail basically, and I said to myself, if I can sell the G7X to the price that I can get this one for, I'm gonna sell it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna sell it. So I put it on above retail on Facebook Marketplace. It was a very good condition. I didn't use it that much, and I just sold it for a pretty good price because, as I said, everyone wants the G7X. So then I bought this camera secondhand from eBay. I don't normally do that, like put the cameras above retail or anything like that, but I just wanted to try it and it worked. So then I got this camera. It is a very cool camera. I don't use it that much to be honest with you, because I just don't like that it doesn't have recipes in it, and it is a very sharp camera. Like, it looks very sharp. Even though it has a 1-inch sensor, sometimes it looks much more sharper than my Fujifilm cameras for some reason. I don't know why, which I don't like sometimes. So that's not the reason that I'm not using this camera a lot. I have a lot of cameras, as you guys saw, and I just love having one aesthetic for my social medias. So that's why I love using my Ricoh GR4 or my Fujifilm X100VI for my content. I wanted to get this camera because it is so compact. It does have a built-in flash, which is so convenient, and when I go somewhere at night, I always bring this with me because it's so easy to use as well. And especially when I go to concerts and stuff, this is my concert camera. You can shoot very good videos. The autofocus is amazing, and you do have a very good zoom range. As you can see, it does have a very good zoom range as well, and I always bring this camera to the concerts with me. I love this camera. I just don't use it that much because, as I said, I have so many other cameras. But for like a hybrid, very compact camera, I think this is like perfect in my opinion, because you can use this for videos as well. Unlike the G7X, the video is pretty good. The autofocus is pretty amazing. What else can I say? I love this camera, but I don't use it that much basically. I wouldn't sell this anytime soon probably, because as I said, it is a very useful camera. It also has viewfinder, which I know so many photographers love. I don't use it that much. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate for this video. But I got so many cool pictures and videos from Ariana Grande concert that I went a couple weeks ago. So even for that, it's the best camera ever. I just don't know what to say most of the time. But I would suggest, if you guys wanted to like buy the G7X, to get this one because it's like better. I don't know. I think the flash on this is a little bit more weak compared to G7X, but I think it's enough. I don't notice it that much. I don't have anything else to say. I do think this camera is very capable, very compact, and I do think it's worth the hype. Then I got the Ricoh GR4. Ricoh GR4 is probably my favorite camera at the moment. It is so compact, so easy to use, and I did find a recipe that I like, and I just use that all the time now, and I just love it. I think it's so convenient. I love that it has IBIS in it, so my shaky hands can still take very high quality photos. I just love this camera so much. It is so compact, so easy to bring it with me, even though I carry so many cameras with me these days because I do create content about cameras now on my social media, which I didn't expect it at all, because you guys can probably tell as well, like, I don't know that much about cameras, but my content about cameras is doing so well these days. This is like the perfect everyday carry compact camera in my opinion. It is, as I said, like so easy to use, and I also have like compact flashes for it, so I can use flashes with it as well. I just love it. I think it's so cool. I don't need zoom at all when I like take photos during the day and stuff. I never think about, oh, I wish I had like a zoom lens here. So because of that, I think this is like a perfect camera for me, just like the X100VI. I also have the HDF version, which I think it's pretty cool. I love the dreamy look it gives, makes my skin much more smoother as well. I do think this camera is the perfect smaller version of the X100VI. It doesn't have the best video features, of course. I didn't use it for video at all before. Maybe I should try it, but yeah, I just love it. I was actually going to buy the GR3, not this one, because I wanted something much more affordable, but GR3 wasn't available and people were selling more than retail price, and this was available when I decided to buy it. I was like, let me just get the new one then, and then I got the HDF version because normal version wasn't also available. But I don't regret this purchase at all. It is my favorite camera at the moment, as I said. If I wasn't doing like camera comparison posts on my Instagram and stuff, I would probably just use this one and my Insta360 Luna for videos. It would be enough for me. I just love this camera so much, mainly because of the size, and it is so capable as well, which I don't use that much, but I did learn how to use manual modes recently. I can now shoot my photos if I want to with manual mode, which is kind of a progress, I guess. Yeah, this is such a good camera and I just love using it, and I don't plan to sell this camera at all, to be honest with you. I'm keeping this for sure. That's why I decided to sell the Fujifilm X100VII, because I got the Ricoh GR4 to replace this and it did the job very well. But this camera was around $700. This one is $1,600. For the price difference, I think this is better. This is such a capable camera. Oh, the autofocus is kind of stuck on this one, but if you wait a little bit, it still does work, so I wasn't that annoyed by it. But autofocus is better on this one, of course. It's a newer camera. The only thing that I don't like about this camera is the price, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think it deserves that price, to be completely honest, and I wouldn't probably buy this camera if I wasn't doing content about cameras now, because all of the stuff that I post about these cameras always does well on my Instagram or on my TikTok. So that's why I was like, let me just get this. It's a new camera that people probably will be interested as well, and they did. So as I said, I wouldn't buy this if I wasn't doing content about cameras now. I think this camera would be so good if it was around $1,200 or like $1,000. Oh my god, $1,000 would be amazing, because it's very similar price to X100VI, and I get so many comments from people asking me to choose between them, which one I would like recommend, and I am struggling to answer that question all the time, because like they are both in the same price range, and I would just go with this one because you can do so much more with this. Like, it does have like a better resolution, it does have better video, it does have a flash, it does have a viewfinder. You can do so much more with this camera, and they are basically in the same price range. So I would go with this one, but also I am using this one much more these days because it's so compact. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to answer these questions because I want to help people to get the X100VI, but maybe if they got this one, they will be happier because it's more compact. You know what I mean? So yeah. Then I have this OEM System TG7, which I only got it to make some videos or content on my Instagram, because I have been wanting a waterproof camera with flash. This is the only one available new on Amazon and stuff, so I decided to try this one, and I am gonna do some videos or posts on my Instagram, and I'm gonna return it because I can spend that much money. After I'm done with this camera and sell my Fujifilm X100VII, I'm only gonna have my X100VI, Ricoh GR4, and my Sony RX100VII, 3 cameras basically, so it's not going to be that much. But I kind of love this camera. I think it's so unique. It does have a very good quality, not like my other cameras of course, but it's a very good quality for social media, and I just love that it's a waterproof and shock-proof camera, so you can just use it without thinking too much. I want to buy a camera like this because when I'm going to the beach and stuff this summer, I wanted to have a camera that I can take with me without thinking too much, because I'm not gonna bring my Ricoh GR or my Fujifilm X100VI to the beach, of course. So I think a camera like this would be good, and the flash is so powerful. I think it would be nice to take beach sunset pictures and stuff, like those Instagram baddie pictures with this, because as I said, like the flash is so strong, and I found the feature on this which I think it's pretty cool. Whenever I use my G7X or my Sony X100VII, like those digicam wipe cameras, I always use the flash white balance when I'm using the flash mode, and you have to change that up all the time. If you don't want to use the flash white balance, you have to do the auto white balance or whatever you use after turn off the flash. But this does have a feature on it in the settings, and if you turn that on, whenever you use flash on the photos, it automatically changes your white balance to flash white balance, which I think is pretty cool. Whenever I use the flash, brush, it does make your photos much more like warmer. I love that so much, and the quality is great. The ergonomics are pretty great. Since it doesn't have touchscreen, you can do all of your settings with the buttons, which is pretty easy to use. But I don't think it deserves the price. I think I paid like $600 for it with the taxes and stuff. I think it would be so much better if it was like $400 or like $300 maybe. It would be nice if it was that price range, because with $600 I think it's in the same price range as some Canon cameras like the Canon ELPH 360 or whatever, and those have 20 megapixel sensors. This is only 12 megapixel, so I know that it's the waterproof camera or the shockproof camera, but I do think it's kind of expensive for that price. But I do love it. If I had the money I would probably keep it, or if I can find this for a good second hand, I would probably get it. But I don't know, I will probably return this and maybe I can buy Nikon ones, because I saw that Nikon also does have a line of waterproof, shockproof cameras, and those look good as well. I do think it will be very comparable to this one, and they are much more cheaper because they are second hand, so I'll probably get one of those. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is all the cameras I have. Oh my god, this video is 40 minutes long. I have to edit this video as short as I can. Again, thank you guys for watching the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. I wanted to post more videos on my channel. I am probably gonna do a one-by-one camera review as well, but as you guys probably can tell, I don't know the specs that much. I just use it for fun. Maybe I can do like a content creator perspective of like a review. Maybe that will be fun, because that's what I do. I use these cameras to create content basically. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments, and if you don't enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, but be nice. Yeah, other than that, you can follow me on Instagram or TikTok as well. See you guys on the next one. Bye.